when you're like super tired, also it's just like your workouts are gonna be like shit.
Oh,
It's
right.
gonna be really bad.
Yeah.
Because what's happening is like you're not able to perform as well. You have to take a really long rest to recover.
Right.
And you know when you try to build muscle, a lot of stuff is just like you want to like most muscle is built when you rest, not when you actually work out.
Okay.
You're giving your body to like so this is how it works. Whenever you yeah. Whenever you try to build muscle, right? You have to your body just hates building muscle. There's no need.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So it's like when you go to the gym, you're kind of like forcing your body to adapt. Like you're lifting all this heavy weight, lifting all this heavy resistance. And what's happening is like when you lift weights, like do a bicep curl, for example. What's happening is that the little muscle fibers within that area get torn up, and it might seem a lot bigger because of all the blood flow that's in there. It's considered a pump. But what actually happens is your muscle gets a lot smaller. Like the muscle itself is actually a lot smaller.
Okay.
So when you rest, when you sleep, your body like it's like, hey, we got all this damage. We gotta like build it back up so we can be bigger and stronger for next time. That's how strength and muscle is built. That's why it's like recovery is by far one of the most important aspects of training. You could train really hard, you could eat really right, but if you're not like sleeping, like you're not gonna grow.
Yeah, if you're not getting like adequate rest.
Yeah, like most people suggest like taking 6 to 8 hours, but I suggest like sleeping for 10 hours. The reason why for 10 hours is because when you first try to go to sleep, you're not really sleeping. It usually takes a couple hours for you to like really fall asleep, really get in that deep sleep.
Yeah.
So then you can actually like
Sorry, I gotta plug this in.
It's okay. So you can actually like feel what you're doing. Cause like if you sleep like let's say 8 hours, right? Okay, it takes you a couple hours to go to sleep, right? Cause like you've been on your phone with the blue light and everything, and it keeps you up. So you're like rustling. Have you ever like went in bed like you can't fall asleep? You're like rustling around the covers.
Every night, dude.
So when people tell me they sleep for 8 hours, like are you really sleeping for 8 hours? Or you're like in bed for 8 hours?
Yeah.
Because most people they say they sleep for like 8 hours, but they actually sleep for like maybe 5, 6 hours. Right. So it's just like 10 hours might seem excessive, but you have to remember something. Now, if you fall asleep like really quickly, like maybe 10, 15 minutes, you're still gonna need the extra time to like get in like deep sleep.
Yeah.
And like the best tips is like try to have a cold room. Don't eat 3 hours before bed. Stay away from your phone for 2 hours, and then stay away from like blue light for like at least an hour.
Okay. Wow. Blue light?
Yeah, blue light.
What do you mean?
So what ends up happening is like I'm not a professional at this. I'm sure there's better people that can explain it.
You just like read about it a little bit.
But it's like blue light is like known for like tricking your body to think it's daytime. So what ends up happening is like when you sleep, when you're getting ready to sleep, your body produces something called melatonin.
Right.
And so what's happening is like when you just have like a phone, there's light that coming from the phone, you're telling your body it's like, hey, it's daytime. So it stops production of melatonin.
Okay.
When you stop doing that, it's not, your brain's gonna be like, okay, it's time to go to sleep. It's nighttime, then it produces melatonin. And people, it's like, I can't be away from my phone for like 1 or 2 hours. And that's the case, then put on a blue light filter.
Okay.
Or
okay.
Or better yet, like read. However, the biggest thing is like what you want to do is you don't want to scroll through Instagram. You do not want to scroll through TikTok. You don't want to scroll through like where your brain's like highly engaged. Cause like what's happening is like you want your brain to rest, you want your brain to sleep. Have you ever noticed like if you ever study for an exam or anything and you try to go to sleep, that's all you're thinking about, and you're also just tossing and turning. So like what you want to do is you want to do before you go to bed, do like highly stimulating activities, such as like maybe like reading a book, or maybe just like meditating by far is like one of the best ways to like rest your brain, because when you go through TikTok notifications, right, most people don't notice is like you're getting a lot of brain activity just by doing this.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like whenever you get like a notification, your brain's like, oh shit, I got a notification. Maybe it might be my gym quest. Maybe it might be my friend, my family. You know, you have all these racing thoughts in your head. Right. So it's just like stay away from Instagram, stay away from TikTok. Right. 2 hours before you go to bed, and an hour after you wake up.
Okay.
When you wake up and you look at your notifications, you're kind of messing up your morning routine, because like you're getting all this negative news, people talking to you.
Stress.
Like personally speaking, I love meditating in the morning, and then like like maybe 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after that, like writing what I'm grateful for. Like, let's say I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my friends, I'm grateful for the girl that I have in my life. Whatever it is, I write it down. Now, people say do like 5, 10 things. At first, you want to do like 3 things, 5 things. But then over time, you want to make more and more and more for what you're grateful for. Because if you keep doing like 5 things and you keep writing the same things, you can lose like the motivation to keep doing it because you already know what you're grateful for.
Right.
And you want to like really think about it. Like when I first started, I was like, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my job, I'm grateful for my friends. But then I started getting more specific with it. Like I'm grateful that I'll be training people today. I'm grateful that I'll be exercising today. It can be something small, doesn't have to be that big, but I prefer writing it down instead of typing it on your phone because you tend to remember things more when you write it down.
Yeah, it's more of like a physical activity.
Yeah.
And like just typing with your thumbs.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I just wanted to like welcome you to the podcast, man, real quick.
Okay.
So thanks for coming on. Like as you can see, it's pretty laid back. This is just my spot, my kitchen. But yeah, I just thought like, your knowledge of like the gym is obviously, there. You spend a lot of time in the gym. And obviously, like you put on mass.
I should probably take off the sweater, huh?
I mean, whatever makes you comfortable. You have a hoodie on under that?
Yeah, I got a hoodie on. I got a pump cover under a pump cover. It's cold out there, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Another hoodie underneath it.
What are you at right now?
So right now, like 168.
168?
169, just purely waking up.
Okay.
If I had to weigh myself right now, because I drink a lot of water,
yeah,
probably 175. And also I've been eating.
Yeah. And then I know last time we talked, you said you wanted to hit 170. So have you done that officially?
Oh, yeah, I already hit 175. But when it happening is that I stopped eating as much. I gotta get back on there, because like when you work pretty long hours, especially in the gym, and you don't bring anything to eat, it's just like myself, I have a big problem with not eating too much. And it's just like I can forget.
You mean not eating enough?
I don't. That's my biggest problem. Like bulking, I don't really like bulking. I think like for some people it's a waste of time. It can be great if you are like very skinny, you have no body fat. It can be great for if you need it.
Right.
But I think people that bulk are just like when they don't need to. Like a majority of the time, you don't need to bulk to put on muscle.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's this popular YouTuber called Greg Doucette, and he preaches about gaining, and so many people don't like it because it's like, oh, you just stay at maintenance calories, you build muscle, lose fat. Sounds too good to be true. And it's like, they think it's like he's a demon for like not like bulking. He doesn't like it.
Oh, okay.
But
it goes against like the narrative,
exactly.
Industry.
But his problem is that most people don't understand is that he said this previously so many times, is that when you are bulking, right? And if you have fat on you, like an excess amount of fat, like 20-25%, you don't need to bulk. You already got the fat. The whole point of bulking is get to like a healthy body fat percentage for your body to be comfortable to be to put on muscle.
Okay.
Like if you notice if you're like super skinny and you try to like gain, you won't do nothing.
Right.
There's no fat to lose, first of all, but like you won't be able to put on muscle because your body's like more trying to survive, let alone trying to build a couple pounds of muscle.
Right. So
bulking is really good for like people that need it. But if you're already fat, like you got a big ass belly, and you're saying you need a bulk, like you got enough fat on you to put on some muscle and lose weight at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think bulking is not for everybody. I think cutting's not for everybody either. Like for some people who are like obese or who are very high weight, they need to cut. But if you're like super skinny and like, oh my god, it's like I just have this little tiny fat, like don't cut. Like it's not worth it. So
yeah, I mean that doesn't make sense if you're already kind of skinny and you're already kind of lean. That the whole concept of cutting is that you like losing body fat. So it's like obviously, yeah. I mean that's interesting. This like idea of what do you guys call it, main gain? Like you're maintaining. I mean, I think I think the topic of like anabolic steroids is probably kind of relevant because if you're like at a whatever calorie intake that's your body's comfortable at, obviously with anabolics you're gonna grow, right? But then if you're someone that doesn't take anabolic steroids, is that still an option for you to like main gain, or do you have to intake the calories in order for your body to build the muscle?
So pretty much with anabolic steroids, it just depends on your career. If you're like first starting out, you have an excess amount of body fat, you can put on muscle and lose fat at the same time. It's called a body recomp. But if it's like advanced year training, like let's say it's your 10th year of training, doesn't matter if you bulk. One of the big problems with bulking and cutting is like you bulk up, you put on so much muscle, like 5-10 pounds of muscle, but you put on 20-25 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
But then what ends up happening is you try to cut off all that fat, but try and remain all that muscle. But what ends up happening is that you will lose a couple pounds of that hard-earned muscle you put in for. If your main goal is health, you want to main gain. Like it's not a sprint, it's not it's a marathon. See so many people make this mistake. Right. It's like, oh, I bulked up, I look so big. Okay, then now you're obese and you have to cut all that weight. And all that hard work that you put on that muscle, you're not going to keep all of it, depending on how fast you go with the cut. Remember, it's like if you cut really fast, the faster you cut, the more muscle you lose. But if you do it like nice, slow, steady cuts, then you will be able to retain a lot more muscle. Doesn't mean you're not going to lose any muscle, depending on how your cut is. But also, I think it's just on the person's goal as well. The person's goal is, at the end of the day, that's what really matters. But if you're on anabolic steroids, it's like somebody spotting you on the bench press. It's like you're having some assistance helping you with that. Like imagine like when it's let's say like this. You with steroids, I recommend people at least train for like 5-6 years, see what your body is capable of. And when I say training, I'm not saying like half-ass training where you train like 3 times a month, like when I first started, 3 times a month. But like really like grinding, being consistent, have progressive overload, getting stronger and bigger, and train for at least 5 years. Because what steroids does is like, think about like a cake, right? When you're like building muscle, right? You're building your layers of the cake. And when you take steroids, you're putting the frosting on it to make it look really good.
Okay.
But when you like I see so many high schoolers do this, is like they take anabolic steroids or like muscle enhanced supplements, and they take it at such a young age, and yes, they get big, but what's happening is like they only build like a little layer of cake with some frosting, and there's like so much frosting you can put on that cake before it's like you can, or too much is too much. So like the cake looks good, but it could have looked even better if you would have given some more time to it. And it's just like there's so many health risks with getting with taking anabolic steroids that most people don't understand. It's like, yeah, you get gyno, yeah, you might lose your mind, yeah, you might do this, yeah, high blood pressure, organ failure, whatever, right? That doesn't really matter. But it's just like when you're trying to be strong as well, when you take anabolic steroids, your style of training has to be different. You can't train heavy anymore. You have to take all your rep ranges from 12 to 20 reps. Because when that happening is your muscle builds really quickly, but your tendons don't grow as much. That's why when you see like people with pec tears, like I'm sure there's this one clip where this one guy's like, he's inclining like a lot of freaking weight. It's like a Larry Wheels video. And it's like he's going down with it and he busts his pec up. And it was really bad. Like if Larry Wheels wasn't there, he would have probably died easily. But like his muscle was so strong pulling on that tendon, and it was just like it was just so freaking
Wait,
strong.
he was benching?
He was bench pressing,
okay.
yeah. So your muscles are connected with tendons connect the muscle between and the bone. So when you have a muscle really pulling on that tendon, it's like you're kind of like separating the tendon and the muscle.
Yeah.
And if you're natural, that's way less likely to happen. You don't really see natural lifters do it. I mean, it still happens, but nowhere near as much as people on steroids. There was also another YouTuber that literally like he flexed his bicep too hard, and it's literally he injured it for several months. I think his name is Joe Linder.
His bicep.
Search up Joe Linder. He's a German.
Yeah.
He's a German guy.
Oh, I know who the guy is.
Yeah.
I follow. Yeah.
He's like Braza. How you doing?
Yeah, Braza, the Braza guy.
Yeah.
He's funny. I like him.
I love his content.
So he fucking flexed his bicep too hard and tore it?
Yeah, and what's so ironic is like he posted a video the day before. I'm like, brutal bicep workout that'll tear off your biceps. I mean, it's not funny, but like shit.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I remember Colin Von Moger.
Colin Moger?
Yeah, do you follow him?
No, I don't.
You know, he's just starting to make a comeback now. He was off of social for like the last year and a half. Mm-hmm. He's like this big Australian guy. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of surprised you don't know about him, but not really again because he's just making a comeback now. But he tore his bicep. He was with C-Bum.
Oh, wait a minute!
You've probably seen that video.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
That name sounded familiar, but I didn't know exactly who it was. But I know that guy. He was
heavy Australian accent.
Yeah, I think what happened, he injured his bicep with C-Bum trying to do that dumb stuff, and then like he went insane, went crazy. I think he got caught with like trying to chase down somebody with a machete.
Oh Jesus! I didn't know about that.
I think that.
I know he's like. He's done some crazy shit. I think obviously he's on steroids, but I think he was like abusing like drugs and alcohol for a while.
Yeah.
He went into this like downward spiral, and I think he got some chick pregnant. And, the list goes on. But anyways, now he's starting to make a comeback.
Okay.
And but anyways, that video he did with C-Bum, they tried to curl like a fucking I don't know how much weight it was. Yeah, it was. And he fucking tore his bicep, and so I'm guessing that's probably one of those things where it's like the tendon wasn't strong enough, obviously. Mm-hmm. But that makes sense. When you think about it, like the steroids assist your muscles, obviously your muscles grow, but it's not like helping your tendons and your joints and shit like that. So. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you would be more prone to injury actually on steroids than as a natural. And as a natural, you're everything's working together. So how long have you been training for?
So do you want to know how long I've been training for, or how long I've been in the gym consistently for?
Well, yeah, both.
Okay.
Let's start with when you started to get into fitness.
So when I first started getting into fitness was with a day, like I think it was a couple of weeks after the Super Bowl. I was trying to lose, like my biggest goal since I was 14 years old was to get like a 6-pack. Okay. Cause like I seen it was just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he had all the girls or all the ladies. I wanted to be like that at 14 years old. And, I saw him have abs. I'm like, okay, I want to do it. So I tried everything. I tried vegan diets. I tried keto diet. I looked up on YouTube how to do it. My biggest problem, however, was like I wasn't consistent, didn't lift weights, and just did a shit ton of cardio. And then I was like very inconsistent. Like maybe I'll go to the gym like 3 times a month at most.
Yeah, that's like once a week.
Exactly.
Not even.
It's not even worth it.
So this was when you were 14, and how old are you now?
I'm 19, but...
You're 19 now, so that's 5 years ago.
No. So I took a little break from that, because like I didn't see any results. It was like, I'll be in a month doing it, and then take 3 months off. A month doing it, 3 months off. Even though I was doing sports, we didn't lift any weights. Like basketball, maybe we lifted weights like maybe twice every month or something. But what it really started is just like I was starting to get into fitness in high school, right? I think it was my junior year, winter semester, and I was like starting to lift weights with my best friend at the time. And we would just go to the gym every time, but the way we trained was horrible. Like we didn't have our rep ranges right. We weren't trying to get stronger. We just like lifted to lift, and we didn't even get good pumps or nothing. We just like believe protein. We believe all the myths. Like you have to have protein as soon as you're done with your as soon as you're done with your workout. We thought a middle chest existed. We kind of cringe at ourselves.
You guys just weren't really knowledgeable. You didn't really do any research. You kind of just went off of what you might have heard and kind of seen, and just kind of wing it.
Exactly. Really. And then when COVID first hit, I was still like, I was fortunate enough that my dad had some dumbbells when they only went to 35s. And I'll train in my bedroom maybe like once every now and then. But I played video games and stuff. And then my senior year came in, COVID still happened. And I was still training, but every now and then it wasn't nowhere near as much. And I was like, after the February Super Bowl, this was in 2020. I think it was 2021. Yeah, 2021. What ended up happening was like, I played video games so much. I would play like 9 to 10 hours every single day, being a fucking fat ass. Yeah.
That's all day.
All day. No, it is all day. And I'll play like on the console. Like my dad had this one rule. Like we started playing video games at 10 o'clock, and then we started playing. We couldn't end it at 7, right? And me and my brother, we shared this console, and we would. Like, if one of us was playing the console, one of us would be playing games on our phone, and we would switch it around every now and then. And my obsession got really, really bad, and I didn't like the way I looked. So, around a couple of weeks after the Super Bowl, I looked at myself, my belly, so freaking fat.
You were fat?
I was fat. Like, my belly was, like, above my underwear line, which may not seem that fat, but I looked hideous. Like, I was skinny fat.
Yeah, we're for someone, like... you're just gonna perceive yourself as fat, and
Exactly. Everybody has different perceptions about being fat. Like I know a lot of girls that might have like a little tiny fat over here, and they're complaining about like they're so fat and everything. Like they're too skinny.
Yeah. Well, girls obviously have like crazy insecurities too. That half the time they just come out with, "I'm fat." It's like, well. You're just insecure.
Exactly.
You're okay,
And like basically, I looked at myself like, fuck it, say less. And then my friend who knew I was training at the gym, literally was like, hey, how do I get abs? And I kept telling this advice, oh, you just need to do cardio, you need to eat more fruits and vegetables. But I was like, instead of me telling him all this, let me actually do it myself. And I was just like, I stopped playing video games. I just focused more on lifting weights. Well, first I did this for like a week. I researched how to build muscle, how to get abs, how to like effectively train. I did that for a couple of days, and then I started implementing what I've learned. Some great YouTubers I learned from was Greg Doucette, More Plates, More Dates, Buff Dudes, Simeon Panda is not one of them. Not really the best advice. And I was just like, these YouTubers, they really helped me like grow. And so I was just like, my first month, I had abs, bro. Like I was peeled compared a month ago. Like I was really good. I was just like, I look really good. Let me do this another month. So I did another month. I looked even more peeled. And I was like, I should have quit. But I have a very obsessive personality. I'll get very how do I say it? When I find something I like, I'm very addicted to it.
Why do you say you should have quit?
Well, I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
But my third month, I looked really freaking skinny. Like I was.
You got
peeled
skinny.
To the bone. Yeah, I got peeled to the bone. Like.
So you were just basically on a heavy cut.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I didn't take any breaks. I didn't take nothing. And my mom would tell me, like,
that's what you should have quit.
Like Jeremy, you have no ass. Like. Stop.
You came down to bone.
Exactly. Yeah. But I kept telling myself, oh no, I got like some love handles left.
Yeah.
I still gotta work on that. So I did that, and I was like, my 4th month, I'm like, okay.
4 months is a lot to cut, man. Yeah.
I was like 4 months in, right? And I didn't change, right?
And you must have probably, like, your energy level probably dropped too, no?
It was really bad.
Yeah, you probably were tired. You didn't have any energy to do shit.
And the funny part was that the only muscles I trained was my chest, my shoulders.
Okay.
My back, it was
like your arms, pretty much.
My back, I was built like a rectangle. I didn't train legs. I tried training legs, but the way I trained them, it was horrible. Like I would just do like maybe a squat here or there, but I was just mainly focused on my chest and my shoulders and my arms
Yeah, you were just doing like bench presses and curls, pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah. I would try to do some rows, but like the exercises I didn't train them nowhere near hard enough. If I were to redo it, I would train all the way to failure. Even though it was like 35 pounds, I would just train to failure every time. That's why I can keep my muscle. But it got so bad to the point, like I was in my 4th month, I wasn't seeing any results. I was like, fuck it, say less, So I'm gonna drop my calories once more. So I started from 2,400, then 22,000, then 1,800, and I was like, I'm not seeing results.
Wait, you mean 2,400 to 2,200 to 1,800?
Yeah.
You said 1,000.
I'm not seeing any results. So,
wait, you just kept going
down.
You kept going down, expecting to gain muscle?
Expecting to lose fat. That was my main goal.
Okay, you had I understand.
I didn't really think about that, to be honest. I wasn't the smartest kid.
Yeah, you wanted abs, and you thought you perceived that the only way to do that was to lose your fat, which is calorie deficit.
Pretty much.
And you weren't eating.
Pretty much. And I'll do like a shit ton of cardio too. And 4th month, I was still at 1,800 calories, but I was just doing a shit ton more cardio. So technically, I was eating consuming 1,600 calories a day when you factor in the cardio.
Sure, yeah.
And then I was like, fuck it. I need to lose some weight. I want to lose some weight now because my graduation was coming up, right? And I was just like, fuck it. So I dropped my calories down to 1,400.
Holy shit.
For 1 month. And doing like an hour to a cardio.
And this is after 4 months.
After 4 months.
Calorie deficit already and cardio.
Told you I have an addictive personality.
Yeah, you went over the edge, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't want to be fat anymore.
Yeah.
So I was just like, fuck it.
That's like a body dysmorphia a little bit.
Oh, hell yeah, I was body dysmorphia. That's why I said the 2nd month I should have quit.
Yeah.
But I wasn't happy. I mean, I went to graduation. Everybody said, oh my God, Jeremy, you look amazing. Oh my God, you shredded.
Now, did you look amazing or were you just skinny as shit?
No. I looked amazing.
You had a little bit of muscle definition?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't
you weren't just skin and bones.
Skin and bones, but nobody saw my back and no one saw my legs. If they would have saw that, I didn't take any progress photos, unfortunately. But if I would have taken that, I would have been really, really bad.
Yeah, that's Jordan fucking interrupting.
That's okay. Jordan can shit. But anyways, so basically that's just
So you did that for another month. You were at 1,400.
Mm-hmm.
Your 1,400 intake
and
for a
cardio
month,
on top of that.
for a month.
So it was basically eating like a bikini girl.
1,000, yeah.
And it was so bad to the point it's I couldn't have it rise anymore. My testosterone was just gone. Hey, mister. So my testosterone was gone and everything.
Yeah, because you weren't putting anything in your body to allow it to build and
it would.
And you were what, 17, 18, 17?
Yeah,
16,
I
17?
think it was 17. So pretty much it's just what ended up happening was it wouldn't rise.
Your testosterone?
No, my dick.
Okay.
It wouldn't rise.
Oh, because you didn't have testosterone.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I used to have thoughts of watching certain content and doing it all the time, but when I'll cut that low, I didn't even have the urge to even think about it. Getting out of bed.
That's insane, man.
The hardest part of my day was getting out of bed. That was the hardest part.
Okay.
But
okay, so your dick wouldn't get hard.
Yeah, I wouldn't get hard at all.
So that's a problem.
My blood pressure was really low too. I think it was 80 over 40 or 50 or something.
So you would test your blood pressure and stuff at this time?
Yeah, and I got really scared. I was just nah, screw this.
Yeah, something was not right.
So I was just I started intaking my calories, which was a challenge by itself.
Okay.
The reason why is because I worked so hard for my abs, and the last thing I wanted to do was get rid of them.
Yeah.
That was hard. I bumped up my calories. Instead of doing 1,400, I went up to 1,800. I still did my cardio every now and then, but just I kind of stopped it. Stopped it.
Yeah.
So pretty much in total, it's just I didn't even have a gym either because COVID. I started the gym around June 14. Yeah, June 14 I started the gym, and that was in
21.
21, yeah. So I started the gym in 2021 and everything. And yeah, so how many years is that now?
Well, it's a year and a half now.
Yeah, it's a year and a half.
January 22.
So I started in June 14.
23.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's a year and a half consistently in the gym,
Yeah.
but for 6 months beforehand. Technically, I've been training for 2 years. But I don't really counting that phase because I didn't train legs, wasn't consistent enough, and it was just I wasn't really building muscle. I was just getting super peeled, super lean, and I kind of regret it a little bit. But at the same time, I don't really regret anything because you learn from those mistakes, and it's just if you can go back in time and fix your regrets, then you wouldn't be the person you are today. I think so many people like are so harsh on their younger self. Like, of course you didn't know. You're stupid. You didn't know any better. So it's just like now it's just like I am whatever decisions I made back then. It's just like I'm not really ashamed of them. I'm just like embracing them per se. So like if I see someone in my similar position, I can just give them the same advice so they can avoid those mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's probably the best way to put it, because you even though you're not proud of that period where you were just like shredded because you were just in a calorie deficit, it is a learning experience. It is a learning process. So you can't really, like just like it's not like it's still relevant to kind of like a training process, right? Because everybody kind of goes through. Because I kind of went through the same thing a little bit. I mean, I'm not obviously as big as you, but
you should never compare yourself with other people. Only compare yourself with yourself.
Well, I meant to say like my training. Like obviously I don't train as hard as you do, but that's what my point is that. I think that time is still relevant because, like you said, it's a learning experience, and it makes you a better because you're a personal trainer. So it makes you, more kind of like you've been there. So if someone comes to you and asks you or tells you their goals and this and that, you can tell them what not to do, as opposed to like, so it's still valuable knowledge, which you could say like 2 years. You've really been like pretty hardcore training for the last 2 years.
Yeah, 1.5 years.
So was there a transition that kind of happened in your thought process when you were like really, like shredded to like, I want to gain muscle, I want to put on size?
Yeah, so my main thing was like, when I became very skinny, it was like, it was hard, like gaining calories in and out, but I had to increase my calories because I wanted my dick to work.
Was that like a big factor that kind of pushed you to like getting your nutrition more right?
Because like I researched how to lose the best way to lose fat, but what I didn't really, I knew macros, I knew calories in and out, I knew all of that, but what I really didn't know is just like, okay, you put months of hard work in there, but you have to like go towards a healthy body fat. Because I didn't like the way I looked either. Like, even though I show pictures of my older self, people's like, oh my god, you're jacked, oh my god, you're swole, what are you talking about, you're skinny? It's just like, I was pretty skinny. Like, for me, I didn't really like the way that I looked. It's like, my chest was just like a little bird chest. Like, right now it's like, a couple of double D's and everything. But it was like super caved in, and it was just like, it was peeled, but it was like super small and everything.
Okay.
And I didn't like the way that it looked, so I was just like, fuck it. If I want to get bigger, I'm going to have to do a little sacrificing of the abs. Now, if I had to say myself, like, I still am pretty lean, still pretty vascular. I still have my abs and everything. Especially, I only have like a 4-pack. I only had a 4-pack. I was super close to a 6-pack, and I really wanted it, but at the same time, I didn't want to cut my calories anymore. It wasn't healthy anymore. So I was just like, I've still been able to maintain the same leanness. I didn't go into bulk like what most people do, because this ones are happening. You bulk, when they're happening, your blood pressure gets high. You don't feel good. You feel fat as fuck. And then when you cut, your testosterone goes down. You feel like shit. And then when you keep going up and down, up and down, up and down, your hormones get changed all over the place, which isn't healthy long term. Maybe like want to cut once, or maybe cut bulk once, and then just like to a healthy body fat percentage and just like maintain it from over there. Because I've been gaining. When I got to a healthy body fat percentage, I just gained from there. People that say that gaining doesn't work don't understand how it works.
Right.
Because if you're at a healthy body fat percentage, now if you're a bodybuilder, bulking and cutting might be good for you. Like, of course, you're gonna have to bulk from a low body fat percentage after competing, and then bulk up to a healthy body fat percentage, and then cut down again for another show. That's understandable. That's okay. But if like you're just doing it for health, there's no reason to go up and down, just to like see a difference. Because what's happening is that you will look exactly the same, maybe even better if you just maintain that, than if you bulked and cut.
How do people, find out what's a healthy, like, maintenance, like, main game?
So it's really easy. So you have to ask yourself a couple questions. Like, people's like when they cut down to a certain body fat percentage, it comes down to genetics. Some people feel happy they can build muscle at around 10%, maybe 12% body fat. Some people, if they go down to that, they feel like crap. They don't feel good. So it's like kind of based on you. But if you want to find out your maintenance calories, what you have to do is go to something called a TDEE calculator, and then you're gonna put in your height, you're gonna put in your weight, and you're gonna put in how active you are. Now that's where most people mess it up at.
Yeah.
When you see it, when you tell yourself like how active you are, right? What's happening is that people are very What's happening is that people are very they overhype themselves.
Okay.
Like if you're just lifting weights, you should only put like moderately active, maybe like active like 3 times a week. Because what I was really looking for is how often you do cardio, how often you do like that.
How
if you're in
your heart rate gets up.
Exactly. Like if you do like sports, like intensity sports, like going track and lifting weights, then you should put very active, highly active, because you need those calories to maintain your body. And what you want to do is once you find your maintenance calories, but if you're like sitting on the couch and not doing anything, do not put moderately active. Don't even put slightly active. Just put like
you're not doing
not
shit.
active.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're gonna find your maintenance calories, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna eat at that. There's 2 ways to do it. You can find your maintenance calories, cut down 500, see how you feel, or bulk up to 500 depending on your goal. But the best way and the long way to do it is that when you find your maintenance calories, right, for a week, you're going to eat at that. Try to track everything. You track the food that you eat, not the water you drink, but like the soda you drink, the juices you drink, even the salad dressing you eat. When people say count calories, many people that say, oh, counting calories doesn't work, it's because they're not doing it right.
Right, sure.
It's because they're not doing it right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because people's like, oh, hey, I had a salad, it's like 100 calories, I'm not losing any weight, I'm just eating salad. Okay, like, what was in the salad?
Right.
People say cheese, salad dressing,
fucking croutons,
oil.
Yeah.
Exactly, and most people don't understand, it's like, every little thing counts. And when I tell people this, it's like, oh, you're crazy. I'm like, oh, you're not getting any results? Oh, okay.
Right.
Because, like, if you want results, you have to put in the work for it.
Yeah.
You're only as good as how much work you put into something. And that doesn't go with just lifting weights or this goes with anything. Businesses,
sure,
girls, whatever. It goes with that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think people really realize how, depending on your goals, but fitness is a pretty serious thing.
Yeah.
And especially like when it comes to, I mean, for guys probably more specifically, but when it comes to like gaining muscle, it's a fucking difficult task.
Hell yeah.
It's not easy at all. And then like you said, when you factor in like genetics has a massive fucking role. And a lot of times people fail to probably consider their genetics. Mm-hmm. They'll just like try to seek out an online trainer or something that says, hey, follow my plan, and you fucking gain muscle.
Yeah.
And then they're showing you the before and after pictures of like people that are like 3-4 month transformations, and they're like fat as fuck on one, and then they're just like shredded on the other. It's like, whoa, right?
Yeah.
So then they start applying these like fucking this coach's suggestions, but it's like then they're not considering maybe my genetics aren't there. Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't, some body part doesn't function the same, or my body doesn't handle 3,000 calories like the other person, So, it's, I think the industry's still kind of maybe catching up to considering a lot. But, there's a lot of things that we're learning today, like specifically with bodybuilding, I think, like how you talked about earlier about rest, about sleep and recovery. Like that information I feel like is just kind of starting to get light shined on it.
Yeah, most people think it's like wake up at 5 a.m., get 5 hours of sleep. build muscle. It's just like, no, get your sleep.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was like popularized. Like, I think it's every New Year people say it's like, wake up at 5 a.m., do this, do that. And I used to fall for it too when I was a little bit younger. Didn't know any better. But I used to like get on Instagram or YouTube, be like, oh, change your life. Wake up at 4 o'clock. Wake up before anyone. I'll get 5 hours of sleep. Work on your 401k and everything. And I was like, what, 16 years old? I didn't even know what a 401k was.
Probably weren't even working yet.
No, but pretty much it's just like people are just sometimes blindly influenced.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, you wake up at 5 o'clock, but what's the main benefit of doing that if you're like a zombie?
Right.
Like, if you want to wake up at 5 o'clock, okay, go to bed at 8. Go to bed at 7. But, like, don't expect me to go to bed at 12 or 10 and then wake up at 5. Like, yeah, wake up before anyone else. That's a wonderful goal to have, and I think most people should do that. But make sure you get adequate amount of sleep. I want to go back to the other topic about genetics as well. I think people use genetics as a crutch sometimes. Like, yes, it's true. Like, there's a limit to how much you can do. There's a limit how much muscle you can build. There's a limit on how much fat you can do. There's a limit how much weight you have, cancer, stuff like that. But I think people use it as a crutch, especially when training calves and everything. And people think like calves is genetic, and yeah, a majority of it is, but that doesn't mean you can like skip the hard work. Doesn't mean you can't see any results. It's just people are just not willing to put the work in it. Like genetics is just like, I think it's just a crutch at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think because there's probably some people that definitely look at it as kind of like a cop out, like to kind of prevent them from doing the work.
But like, if you like think like, oh hey, if I go with this online coach and I expect to look like Seaboom, look like Arnold, like that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Right. Like those genetics are 1 in a billion.
Well, they're also on fucking steroids.
Yeah, and you can take as many steroids as you want. Yeah. You will not look like them at the end of the day. I will look like them at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the other thing too that people don't realize is you can't just look at a body and be like, that's how I want to look.
I mean, it's great to have that inspiration, so you can train hard. Right. But at the end of the day, you should focus about being the best you. Because like because like this is what ends up happening with people. You compare yourself with your best friend, right? You get bigger than your best friend. Okay. You have another friend who's bigger. You get bigger than them. Then you have another friend that might be bigger than them. It's like it's a continuous, endless cycle of like trying to get bigger and better than the other person. It's fun having competition. I think guys especially, it's wonderful to have competition, but you shouldn't be comparing yourself with them. Because when that happens, you start developing body dysmorphia, you start developing negative mental health effects. I think it's just like not really the best idea to compare yourself. But it's really good having competition. Like myself personally, like on Instagram, right? A lot of people view me as competition. Because like oh my god, your channel is growing really fast. Oh my god, you're getting like what, over 100,000 views on your videos every now and then. You're getting 20,000 views, and you're posting consistently twice per week. I'm like, listen, like you're great. I give people tips if they want to know how to grow their stuff. I'll give you the best tips I know. Cause that's another story for another day. But having that like competition, they're like, oh my god, you're getting all this, you're getting all that. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting all this, I'm getting all that. I can help you out, but don't compare yourself with me. Like it's fun having competition, but just don't compare yourself with me.
Yeah, I mean, and also it's like, when you're comparing yourself with somebody, you're really comparing the work ethic. It's like, I don't think people consider that. It's like, if you look at somebody else and there's at a level that you perceive to be better than you, like you look at somebody with a fucking nicer car or something.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably doing something you're not to be driving that car, or something like that. So it's, I don't know, maybe in fitness is a little different when you look at somebody's body. Well, I guess probably not, right? Because if you look at somebody's body and you're like, that fucking guy's in shape. I need to look like that. It's like, well, yeah, maybe, but what, maybe you want to figure out, what that person's doing work ethic wise to look the way they do, because at the end of the day, how hard are you working in comparison to that person that you perceive looks better than you, that's what you want to kind of compare is, are you working as hard to try to achieve what they have or they don't?
That's true. That's really good. I think it was just like, yeah, most people is just like they're not willing to put in the work and put in the effort. But like also it's like that's how you can acquire that body you wanted, right? And at the end of the day, there's always going to be someone bigger, better, and stronger than you. However, you should never let that weigh yourself down. Just being the best you. But yeah, you should compare yourself. If like someone's like working 8 hour long days, they're working really hard. They have like the acquired knowledge. They've done a lot of stuff, and they're driving the way. They have the lifestyle that they had. And then you're complaining about yours when you're just on your phone scrolling on TikTok, going on Instagram. Of course, then yeah, compare yourself with that person. But also you gotta remember, it's like there's certain situations where most people are less fortunate or more fortunate than others. Like some people, they grew up in a very rich household and they get all this money and they live in a very good lifestyle. There's a person who might have been raised in a very poor neighborhood. It doesn't mean they can't get rich one day, but it's just going to be a lot harder to get there. Like I think in my class, this was a while ago, it was a philosophy class. It was about we were talking about charities, right? And we're talking about like how people in impoverished neighborhoods, third world countries, like they need help from charities because the opportunities they have is very limited compared to here in the West. Like it's very hard to make money over there than it is to be over here. So it just depends on where you're raised at. Not saying it's impossible, but it's just saying it's like some people are better off or started better off than others. And people have received better opportunities than others. But that should still not like stop you from like becoming the best version of you. I think I'm sounding like a broken record right now. But, like
No, not at all. I mean, I think that's relevant. I mean, I just personally, I believe that people who go through kind of like adversity and stuff in their life, and if they get to a point where they're able to come out of like the state that they're in, and typically it's depression has a lot to do with it, or bad habits, whatever, crime. I think those people are able to appreciate success more than someone that's raised in a household that's very kind of that's already successful, right? If you're born into a family that like you're in fucking Bel Air or something, you're not gonna really value success as much as somebody that's born in South Central, because your fucking family has money. You're probably driving a nice car by the time you're 16 already, as opposed to somebody that fucking is probably riding a bike until they're 18, 19, or until they work hard enough to be able to buy a car, So, yeah, I mean, in that sense, it's, difference, but I think adversity, is allows you to value success and this, hard work, you value your hard work more, I think, with that. And that's another thing I was gonna say is with when it comes to like I think competition is healthy in a way. You know what I mean? I don't think we should like not have competition at all. I think we do need competition because I think it's part of what drives a person to be better, to do better. I don't really, believe in like that, like a socialistic kind of like, everybody deserves a medal. No, you fucking don't. If you're fucking 5th or 6th place, because you're not fucking working as hard. Yeah. So it's like this fucking idea that everybody on a team gets a medal is fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I think it's like really harmful, especially with younger people.
Fuck yeah.
Because like, okay, yeah, like let's say someone like really worked hard and they get a nice good trophy and everything. Someone who didn't even do anything, maybe just like sat their ass on the ground, they get a trophy too, which kind of like diminishes the value of having that. And in life, like it's really essential having competition. Like if you ever think you're not in competition, you're always competing. Like a great example could be like in the gym. Like it's really good having a gym rival, seeing who's working harder than you. Or it's like with girls, for example, you're always competing with another guy. Yeah. Like if you ever think you're just the one, no.
Right.
No. Unless you like marry and she's super faithful, there's always gonna be another guy in her mind.
Oh fuck yeah! I mean, it's just the same thing. Like when I go into the gym, there's probably a fucking handful of chicks that I can look at and be like, yeah, I could take her out, or I could fucking take her back, you know, take a hook, whatever. This is never only, you know, one or this or that. But I wanted to get back to the fitness with you, and I've seen kind of like looking at your content, you look like you're more of like kind of getting into the powerlifting realm.
Oh yeah.
Of like building strength more than like bodybuilding. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So pretty much with compound lifts, like my bench, squat, deadlift, I'm trying to get as strong as possible on that one. I want to see the best on how strong I can get on that one. However, like, I'm not a power lifter, but I'm not a bodybuilder either. I'm known as something called a power builder, which is like if a power lifter and a bodybuilder made a baby. And it's like they go heavy on their compounds, but they go light on their accessories. Like, even though I do post on my IG, like I'm lifting all this heavy ass weight and everything.
Yeah.
Like I think a couple weeks ago, I like benched like 295 for like 1 rep or something. Like, I don't lift like that all the time. Personally, I don't really like doing heavy weights too often because it's fun doing it. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's all day, but like that's not how you really build strength.
Okay.
Like, it's the quickest way to build strength, but also it's just like you have increases chance of getting injured, even though if you're natural or not. Like your joints, not good control, good technique. Like, my best tip for people to have is like focus on your technique and form. Like, for example, you do a bench press, make sure that ass is on the bench, your legs are driving on the floor, your shoulders are retracted, everything, your chest is up. And make sure that when you take the bar down, don't go too fast. Don't slingshot it up. Go down nice and slow and then come back up, because you're like 30% stronger going down slower on the way down than you are up. So I think it's just like I see so many people, it's just like bounce the chest, they hurt their sternum, and just like they injure themselves really badly. But yeah, so when I go with my accessory movements, like my bicep curls, I don't like going heavy, like maybe like 10 reps is pretty moderate, but I like going 15, 20 reps, because like I'm trying to like grow my muscles, my biceps, my triceps, like smaller muscle groups. But just like I'm a mix of both, because I love being really strong and I love being like I'm in really good shape.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's usually the challenge with most people, right? It's like looking fucking great and being strong at the same time, which is kind of funny because like when it comes to like in the gym and you know, competition between men, it's like you want to lift heavier than the guy next to you, you know, because we have ego, and our ego is like, if I'm stronger than this guy, I could beat his ass. That's probably where it comes from. But the odd thing is that, like, when you're looking at the sexes and you're trying to impress a girl, you know, you like, as a guy, you're gonna perceive, if I can lift more than the guy next to me, then she's gonna be impressed. But funny enough, women don't give a fuck
about they don't
how
give
much
a
you
shit.
weigh. Yeah, they don't give a shit how much you lift. They care about aesthetics.
Yeah.
They care about how you look. So if you're lifting 10 to 20 fucking pounds and the guy next to you is lifting 90, but you look better than him, chances are she's gonna pick you.
Well, hold up. That depends on the woman, though, because some girls have different types. So
I mean, 100%. We're talking generally here, you know.
Yeah, generally, like so many girls say like they love dad bods, but they're lying.
You think so?
They're lying.
I mean, I think there is definitely some truth in that. You know, I feel, just because, you know, I mean, I don't know. My interest in women is pretty across the board. Yeah. You know, I like a fit chick. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, I'll fucking, you know, I'll hook up with like a heavy chick. You know, I'm not too picky.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hook up with them, but you want to go on a football.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna catch me out. I did have a girlfriend once, and she was kind of heavy, but she was like a pretty heavy chick, right? Like she was pretty in the face, and she had curves. She wasn't just like this like weirdly obese chick.
So big bone.
Yeah, she was thick, bro. But anyways, I mean, but that's the thing too. And then how many times you see like a chick that's fit, and then her boyfriend's a fat fuck, right? Like that happens. Maybe not in the gym, because people who go to the gym who are in good shape, actually, right? Generally, most people that are at the gym are in good shape. If you took a poll of how many people were in the gym, I'm safe to say that the most people that go to the gym on a consistent basis are in shape.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Basis, absolutely.
Well, yeah, consistent basis. I mean, but even just the people the faces you see often, maybe 2-3 times a week, whatever. I'd say generally the people that are in the gym that are not in shape, I think, is less than the people that are in shape. I think. So so if you see a couple that are going to the gym, most likely both of them are probably in shape. But women are weird, man. Women are definitely weird. But at the end of the day, I can confidently say that either way, for them, I think it's aesthetics more than anything. If they're attracted to you aesthetically, they don't give a shit how much weight you lift.
No, they don't care. Like they might they might say it's like hella impressive and everything, but it's just like no. And I think it's like many guys, they think girls and guys think exactly the same.
No, fuck no. Yeah,
they don't.
No, we're 100% different.
Like you tell a guy something direct to another guy, they get it. You try that with a woman. I mean, like, I'm not saying most women, but I'm saying like a majority. They're like talk differently. They go all over the place instead of where you want to go. You can't be really direct with them.
Yeah. I'm surprised you know that at 19. I didn't know that at 19. I'm 34.
Okay.
And I've learned like that oftentimes when you talk to a woman, she's not fucking listening to you, bro.
Nah.
She's like, they always like, criticize men for not listening, but really, they half the time they're not listening to what the fuck you're saying.
I mean, it depends though. Like,
it does depend. Yeah.
If the guy they don't like doesn't listen to them, they don't give a rat's ass.
The guy has to listen. Men have to listen.
No, if she doesn't like you and she makes it quite apparent, she wouldn't care if you don't listen. She doesn't care about if you know her birthday or not.
If she doesn't like you?
If she doesn't like you.
Oh, yeah. If she doesn't like you, it doesn't fucking
But, like, if it's a guy that... Let's say she's the guy that you like. Oh, no. She likes a guy. Let's say she likes a guy. She cares about if he listens to her. And he has to listen to her.
Right.
So, like...
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, so, like, if they're for each other, then, yeah, both parties have to listen.
Yeah.
But women, it's just like they have so many choices these days, especially with parties like Tinder, Hinge.
So do men, though.
Bumble.
Yeah, so do men. I think it goes both ways.
It's 10 times harder because for a guy, it's for a guy to be in a type of relationship, they have to have a lot more things than a girl. If a girl's super attractive, puts on some makeup, it's really easy for them to get a guy.
Yeah.
But if it's like a guy to get a girl attracted, depending on what girl they want to have, they have to have a car, have a steady job, look fit, have a charisma, great personality, be 6 foot tall, 401k, have a lot of savings in the bank, a dog. Like a woman's list is so much. And all a guy wants is a girl that has a great personality, who take care of themselves, and just gives them a hug.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only thing guys want.
Yeah, are you a fan of Andrew Tate?
Personally, you want to bleep that out. You want to bleep out that name.
Oh, the name? I don't want to put it in there? Yeah, that makes sense.
Bleep out Andrew, and here's why. I made a parody on TikTok about him.
Okay.
And basically, it was like, TikTok took it down like as soon as it came out, because it says hateful.
TikTok is fucking Chinese spyware, man.
I know, but...
TikTok is fucking horrible.
I'll put like...
That's communist, man. They do whatever the fuck they want.
Exactly, but when I put... You probably want to bleep this out. I put Andrew Tate fans trying to be alpha as a parody. TikTok took it down. But then I was like, let me try this again. So I waited the next day. I put Tate fans trying to act alpha. Shit blew up.
On TikTok?
At TikTok. They didn't even take it down. Okay. Same video, same everything. They didn't take it down.
Yeah.
So, but going back to the thing...
Well, this is YouTube.
Personally speaking...
This is YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, but I just... Like, even on YouTube, they have the same thing. Why do you think, like, if you look at your shorts, they say Mr. Producer?
Yeah, I understand.
Like, if you ever look at the short where he's speaking, it's Mr. Producer, not Andrew.
Yeah, that's true.
But personally speaking, I don't really know the guy.
You don't really know too much about him, yeah?
No, I know a lot about him.
Okay.
I knew when he first came out, and personally speaking, I'm not a really big fan of him, but I don't hate him. Like, I think he has really good advice if you take the context within it. Like, if you take context with it. Because so many people, especially with Instagram and TikTok, where it's short form platform, you can only share like 5 to 10 seconds. So a lot of his statements sound outlandish, and they are outlandish if you don't put in context within it. But if you put like context to see what he's fully saying, then that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's part of the problem is that with the click, the fucking, you take five seconds of what somebody's saying,
Mm-hmm.
and with you don't know what the fuck, and then you put a caption,
Mm-hmm.
and it turns it into a whole fucking different thing.
Exactly.
So that's that's fucked up. But anyways, we don't have to talk about. But anyways, that's my point is that he talks a lot about that too, about the fact that women, for a man to have value for a woman, like he has to be able to, fix a problem for her. So whether it's a financial issue, she's depressed, she needs somebody to be with her. The point is the man has to provide a solution to a problem that she has. But vice versa, a man, he's not looking for a woman to as a solution to a problem he has. He's probably just trying to get laid, or he's in he wants some company. So yeah, it's kind of a weird dynamic, but the fact is these dynamics exist and they're real.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
and I think it's like with Mr. Producer over here. I think it's just like most people don't understand, even though he sounds outlandish, even though he's been certain about, it's literally the same ideas being spoken every single freaking year. There's been people that's been saying the same exact things about these dynamics. Like you have people like Jordan Peterson. When he first came out, when he was super popular, called him misogynist. Then you have there's been others besides Jordan Peterson.
Dude, I mean, the thing is, you want to talk about misogyny, listen to hip hop music.
Exactly.
Hip hop music,
You have women like guys, especially bragging about raping women, fucking bitches.
Exactly, dude. I mean, hip hop music is 100% everything that whenever like any social media platform tells you, oh, this goes against our community guidelines. Dude, hip hop music is that.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you're fucking saying. That it's influences violence. Fucking guns, drugs. Demeaning women. Treating them like property, pretty much. Calling them fucking hoes and bitches, and fucking them and essentially making them look like prostitutes, which a lot of them are. But
you probably want to be careful with saying that.
Yeah, well, it's like 20 subscribers. It's like 20 subscribers, dude. Nobody's watching this channel. This is for me. It's for fun, I did have a video taken down, but this was during COVID.
Okay.
And I said some shit about COVID, and they took my video
down. It's the cold.
The C9, the C19.
C19.
Or whatever the fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, getting back to your kind of like your fitness journey and stuff like that, were you looking to kind of like your goals as far as like your fitness journey, and then how does that intertwine with like social media? Like, are you planning on growing your platform to be a bigger like influencer? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm just growing my account. So I'm trying to get to like a certain amount. So what I do is like I find reels that are trending and then I put my own spin on it. And if you think that's plagiarism, literally every content creator does it.
Oh yeah,
don't even at me.
That's all that Greg Doucette does.
Yeah.
He literally takes Derek or Michael Heron, or he was on that fucking Liver King shit for like the last 3 weeks, dude.
Exactly. Like people just put their own spin on it, and if you think anyone's original these days, they are people that are original, but there's a lot of people that copy them.
It's very difficult to be, yeah.
But like what I'm also doing is like so I post twice per week. Like people say post every single day to grow your account. Post like this, that. Post 4 to 5 times a day. I'm like, dude, like that's hard. Being a content creator is hard.
It is.
And like twice per week, it's maintainable, because what ends up happening is this is what happened with me. I try to post 3 times a week. I quit my second week because like it was just too stressful. It was just so much work, and I burned myself out. Content creation is supposed to be helpful. It's supposed to be fun. Like for me, I think maintaining twice per week is absolutely fun. and like myself is like, so I post once a week, a trending reel, something that blows up, and then the second time I post, it's gonna be a tip. So the first one, so next week, so pretty much what I did is like I posted one reel, right? It was something trending on Instagram. Put my own spin on it, over 100,000 views.
Wow.
And then 150, but then I have the second reel, how to bench 225, or like what are some tips that can help you achieve that.
That was a good one.
That one, thank you. That one got over 20,000 views. Maybe not as much as the trending one, but way more views than your average influencer.
Fuck yeah.
So, and then I did the same thing with the other one. And this week, it's like I'm posting a, this is a future reference, but I'm posting a Andrew Tate parody that I posted on TikTok. Nothing really disrespectful to the extent I don't care what other people think. But it's a parody. Don't take it seriously. But you take a Andrew Tate parody, and then I'm going to drop another video when I have time to record it. Is going to be how to grow bolder shoulders. Like, you can't really see my shoulders now, but if you ever see my IG, like, my shoulders are like my best part of my body.
Yeah, they're definitely, yeah, they're big for sure. I mean, your genetics are there as far as, you know, your shoulders and your chest.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Like my legs, they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
They're not that. Yeah, your legs are probably strong, but they're not like.
They're not chicken.
They're
legs.
Not huge. They're not chicken legs.
legs.
They're not chicken legs at all, and you're definitely lifting a lot.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near impressive as my upper body. Because I'm lucky enough to have the bikini girl genetics. Where I store all my fat, I think Filipino genetics actually. Where you store all your fat in your lower body, and your upper body you don't really store that much.
Do you bench every day?
No.
Okay.
Lord, no.
Okay. Because most of your videos are you benching.
Yeah, so myself personally, like, how do I say it? So I'm bodybuilding pretty soon, and my main goal is to bench 315 before I start cutting. Because as soon as I start cutting, that's when my strength is going to stop. So I'm trying to get it as quickly as possible. And the best way to get a stronger bench is by doing it more often. So I do it like 3 times per week. But I still do my legs. I still train legs. Like,
what's your favorite compound to do?
Even though I like bench press, squat's my favorite.
Squat?
Squat's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, because it actually challenges you.
Yeah.
So many muscles are being worked.
Yeah.
Like, deadlift is fun, it's okay, but squat is where it's at. Unless you have back issues, then that can be a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think push day is everyone's favorite.
Monday's International Chest
days.
Day.
Huh?
Monday's International Chest Day.
Is it?
Yeah. And personally speaking, like, even though you see all these lifts I have on my bench press, my squat, I'm starting to post them now, but like, I don't really focusing on growing my legs more because of bodybuilding. Not really going for like super crazy high PRs. If I train for it, I could easily get 4 plates on the squat.
Yeah, you're pushing 3 right now, aren't you?
Exactly. I'm pushing 3 for 3 reps, but I'm just maintaining it. Like, I only go for like 12 to 15, like.
It's a lot of weight, man.
8 to 15 reps. And it's just like, last time I did 275 for like 3 sets of 8, and then I did a 245 for like sets of 15 the other day. Like, my legs are still like busted from that.
Yeah. Well, that's good though, man. Yeah, it's good to see you like grow, you know, just in the short time. I think in like the last 6 months when I first started seeing you to now, just your physical. I think you were big. Your biggest was like last month, I think, right? Or you say your biggest is now?
My biggest, I think, would be right now, to be honest. But as in terms of weight, I was like 175 a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that's good, man. Look, Jer, I appreciate you coming by, man. Appreciate you taking your time and talking to me about all this stuff. You know, it's really interesting. Just to see you, you know, kind of progress and grow, and I hope, you know, your channel grows, man. I hope your influence gets wider.
I think like my biggest tip for people is like, if you want to share content or you just want to post like selfies about yourself, try to make it appropriate, or post lifting advice or your progress, just start doing it now. Most people think like you have to be really big so people can listen to you, but a lot of people just want to see the progress.
Yeah, and you have to start somewhere.
Exactly.
So.
And when you show progress, people are more likely to listen to you because you not only have the results of it, but you also say the progress and seeing like what it takes to get over there.
What you going to school right now?
Next week.
I mean, like you're in college.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What are you in community college? Where do you go?
I'll go to Cal State LA.
Oh, Cal State LA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is that a community college?
No, it's a.
It's a college.
It's a college.
University.
University.
What are you studying?
That one took me a long time, but.
Oh, you're a freshman, right?
Ow. I was just playing. I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm a sophomore. But most people think I'm a junior or senior because like I think the beard like helps out a lot.
Yeah. Well, you're 19. Yeah, no, that's about right though.
Yeah. And it's just like it took me a long time. I first wanted to be a finance. I first wanted to be economics. Then physical therapy was the thing I chose the most.
Okay.
Because like last year it was a freaking hectic. Like I took human anatomy and chemistry at the same time, and when you haven't studied correctly in years, it can be really hectic. And it was for me. And like when I took those classes, I enjoyed doing them. I loved them, but it just took a long time to study.
You enjoyed
like,
chemistry?
I'm talking about like 3 to 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Every day. Good. I'm talking about studying for like 12, 15 hours just to like keep up with other students.
Right.
And personally speaking, after a while, when spring break happened, I took a break and was never myself again. Because like once you take a break from that, you have to work twice as hard to get back from there. Then I had to then I was like, screw it. Next semester, I'm gonna take a break, take easier classes. Hated myself for 6 months. Hated myself
for taking easier classes.
For taking classes I didn't even like.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
It took me like 2 months to figure out something I really liked. Like even though I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed studying what I was passionate about, not these general ed classes about like philosophy or like accounting or.
Well, that's why I was like, why were you in chemistry?
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the most important thing with looking at college is like doing something you actually enjoy, not just going in to get a fucking degree, and then spit yourself out with a bunch of debt and with knowledge that you not only didn't retain, but it just costs you a fortune, and then now you're gonna pay it off for the next 10, 15 years. So it's physical therapy? That's what you're doing now?
It's physical therapy. However, with college, you want to pick something that makes money. You do not want to go with something you're passionate about. Because if you're good at doing something, you're going to become passionate about it. Like if video games, if you suck at them, you're not going to be passionate about them. But if you're good at them, you're going to enjoy them because you're seeing like you're getting better and better. So I think it's a stupid advice to like go with what you're passionate about. If you're passionate about liberal arts, gender studies, communication, you're not gonna make anybody else. Sorry.
Oh yeah, well
you're not gonna make shit.
Yeah, well it depends because I think when you're looking at like passion, I don't know that passion and education correlate. You know, if that makes sense. Like I think passion doesn't necessarily need a degree.
Yeah,
you know
passion
what I mean?
is like it's good to find something that makes money that you like, but it's also like. You want to pick something that like you don't absolutely hate yourself. Like.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like passion is like you're doing something because you just enjoy doing it, and you're not even concerned about how much money you're making.
Exactly.
You know, if you're like I'm gonna go to college because I need a degree because I need to be able to support myself, then your goals are kind of like not really aligned with passion at that point, right?
Yes, but you should pick something that makes a lot of money that you generally do not hate, but you want to work on your passion on the side. Like for example, right? Let's say you become something that makes a lot of money these days. I think an engineer, right?
Okay.
Like let's say engineering, you make a lot of money from it. You like it, but it's not the thing that you love doing. Maybe you like writing plays or writing stuff. Like if you pick a theater major, good luck trying to make some money. It's going to be really hard.
Yeah, no, theaters don't make money at all.
Exactly. So you want to work that on the side while you're still having a career where you're making money to support yourself. Like me and my dad, we've been having like conversations like this all the time because like it was very difficult for me to choose a major that I liked, that I wanted to do. But also like myself personally, I love science. I like science. I like physical therapy. I love helping people out. But what I really like doing also is like producing videos, especially on TikTok and Instagram. Now, if I just quit school and go to Instagram and TikTok, it might work out. I might make money. but like I still want to have that safe layer where I can get into a career and make some money. Because let's say if that didn't work out, I'm screwed. I'm screwed later on in my life. My dad can't support me forever. But if I did have that career with something I did like, not love, liked doing, I love helping people, I love getting people inside fitness, then that way it's just like I at least have a base, a support base where I can live comfortably, but also work something on the side. And if that becomes successful on the side, I can just quit my job and then work on that full time.
Yeah, that's not, I think that's a very kind of like objective and kind of like traditional way of doing things. Because 20, 25, 30 years ago, the thing was go to college, get your degree, go to college. You want to get good money, you want to, this and that. But now as we've advanced with technology and it's allowed to, more preferably like the younger generation to essentially earn money and not go this traditional route of like having a college degree. I think we're evolving. Humans are evolving, and I think we're slowly moving away from college. As we learn. So, personally, I don't, because I was kind of raised the same way. This idea that whatever you like doing, whatever you want to do, you don't really want to focus on that. You want to go to college, you want to get a degree, you want to get yourself a job where you can support yourself, and then if you have a passion, then go and pursue, do that kind of on the side. And if it takes off, then you're great. That's kind of, you can say objectively that's a safe way of doing something, of like going about, your life. I would argue that I don't know. It depends on your goals. Like depends on your goals long term and how successful you want to be, like financially or whatever. But I would argue that if you have a passion for something, first of all, I don't think college is for everybody.
No.
I definitely don't think college is for everybody, and I think the most important thing for an individual to figure out is if they are truly made for college or not. But finding a passion, if you have a passion that you're really, as for an individual, if there's a passion they're really into, I would say, focus on that, and strive toward that, and don't worry about college or degree or career or this and that, because my whole thing is, if you have a work ethic, if your work ethic is there, whatever it is that you do is going to work out. That's the one thing you can guarantee. Whatever it is, whether it's college or whether it's YouTube, if whatever direction you go, it's almost bulletproof, because if your work ethic is there and your determination to succeed is there, it's going to work out. You know what I mean? Like how you said, oh, if I go this way and it might not work out, then how am I going to support? But that's the thing. It's like, it's this idea. Most people, I think, that's where they kind of get hindered, is they have this idea that they need a plan A and plan B, right? But it's like, if you're focused kind of on like this, like your focus is split, then it's almost inadvertently going to lead to kind of like this pit that you might fall into and kind of like fail. Again, we're talking generally, but that's kind of my whole thing, is like, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to work ethic. If your work ethic is there, success is almost imminent.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I don't think, people should be kind of told to focus on this idea of like fear of failure. And if you listen to successful people, they tell you want to fail. They tell you want to, try something. If you fail at it, that's fine, because it's like a learning experience. Just like I was telling you about how like your fitness journey in the beginning, you might look at it as like a failure or whatever, like you weren't really in a place, but at the same time, you still learned. You learned, and then you progressed to a better mindset and to a better area of fitness where you ultimately succeeded. So it's like, even if you decide you don't want to go to college and you want to pursue like social media, is it going to happen overnight? No. Is it going to happen in a year? You don't know that, but you don't not know that. You know what I mean? It just comes down to like your work ethic, your passion to succeed. You know, and that ultimately I think will lead. You know, work ethic and passion and determination will lead to success either way. You know what I mean?
I think like with failure, I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Like one of my English teachers, she told me this very important life lesson. Like in every class I've been in, I always learn something, even if not about the subject. With English, for example, she told me not only how to write properly, but also she told me like with failures, like she didn't penalize us for the first essay. She told us that we're all gonna fail the first paper, D and an F, right? You're all gonna get D's and F's. You're not gonna pass the first paper. First midterm, don't even think about it. Do your best that you can, but you ain't gonna pass. And we didn't get penalized for it. And she told us this very valuable lesson. Like with failure, like what I want you to do, right? I want you to pick a direction. I want you to start running. I want you to keep running until you hit a wall. When you hit that wall, instead of laying down on the floor, get up, go run in another direction, and hit another wall. Get yourself back up, go do it again. Keep running in directions, hitting into walls, unless you find a direction where you don't hit a wall. And I think it's like that was very powerful because like I think in schools especially with the younger kids, like we're kind of conditioned to like avoid failure because like let's say you fail a test, right? What do you get? An F.
Yeah.
You get a 0%, and it's just like yes, you should learn from it. Yes, you should be a little penalized because you don't want it. You shouldn't be getting Fs. However, it's like you kind of kill that kid's motivation, the student's motivation to learn from his mistakes. Like I think it's like with kids, especially with our education system, like people like if you fail one test, you are screwed. And it can result in dangerous behavior such as cheating, paying someone to do your work. Like I'm just gonna tell you this straight up. Majority of college students, no, all college students cheat. All of them.
Sure.
All of them cheat. Especially the ones in the good majors, engineering, biology. All of them. They all cheat.
Okay.
It's just some of them just don't get caught. And some of them are just smart about it. Like, especially the really, I don't want to put any names or anything, but the really attractive women, you know, they can probably get a guy to take the test for them. You know, just.
Oh, sure.
I was just like, you know, I don't want to say it, but it's just like there's been cases where teachers have let their students cheat while having a service performed on them. Like,
Yeah.
I say it explicitly.
It happens, yeah.
And it's just like when you fear failure, you don't want to go out in there. I think what you should do is use your failures as stepping stones towards success. However, your main goal should not be to achieve failure. Your main goal should be trying to achieve that goal, and if any failure occurs, you learn from it and you don't repeat it. Because if you keep chasing for failure, this is never gonna work. Like myself, for example, like when I was really when I got back in college, right? My biggest thing was like I wanted to talk to people, right? And I wanted to get comfortable talking with people and being rejected. I was looking for that failure. And I got it. I got it. But I didn't really learn from it per se because I was trying to achieve it. I was like, okay, don't say this with this person. Okay, let me go to another person. Don't say this. Okay, let me go to this person. Don't say this because I'm trying to be perfect in everything. But it's just like, no, that's not how it works. You go, you have a goal, you want to make new friends. Okay, then. If the person doesn't like you, okay, figure out why they didn't like you. Figure out why. And this goes with everything, like with girls and everything. With girls and everything. And it's just like guys, it's like they think it's like it's yes, you should get comfortable in rejection. You should get comfortable in it. I think it's every guy should get used to it, but you should just learn from your mistakes. It's like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be, you know, let's say for example, I shouldn't be saying good morning every single day. I shouldn't be worrying about her. I shouldn't be looking through my Instagram story seeing if she watched it. You know, I shouldn't be worried about that. It's just like. You say your shot, you do your things, you see what works, you see what doesn't work, and then you apply what all works, and then you learn from your mistakes to become a better person.
Yeah, big time.
Like, for example, like, when you go to fitness, right? Like, you don't plan on failing a lift. You don't plan on failing it. What you plan on is hitting it, but then you fail it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, you learn from that fail. Like for a bench press, right? I was stuck at this weight called 275. And I failed it, and I failed it, and I failed it, and I failed it, and I failed it so many times. No, actually, no. I'm going to say on 225 story. I failed it 6 times. And basically, it's like, instead of focusing on the failure part, I was focusing, okay, what mistakes was it? 1, I kept maxing out too much. Okay. 2, I wasn't working on my supporting muscles as much. 3, my form and technique wasn't dialed in. That's why you always record yourself when lifting big heavy weight. That's your goal. But you learn from these little failures, and then you apply them, and you learn from them, and you don't make the same mistakes again. Like myself, if I fail a max out lift, I am not gonna max out for the next 2 weeks. I don't care about maxing out the next week or the next day, cause like I want to learn from my failures. Was my technique dialed in? Was my breathing all right? Like these are things that you just learn from, but you don't aim to get it. I think it's just like a lot. I went into that one.
No, it makes it all, it's all relevant, you know. But I think at the end of the day, what we're saying, it's like it's trial and error.
Exactly.
You know, everything you do is trial and error. It's kind of like a scientist. Like fucking scientists, literally, that's all they do. They're fucking trial and error. They're trial and error. And they almost know it's not gonna work sometimes, but you'll never know for sure unless you do it or try it. And that applies to life 100%. And that's all we're doing. And that's all that failure is. It's really, you're not really failing, you're learning.
Exactly.
It's just trial and error until whatever it is that you trial is the fucking shit that you're good at. And it's gonna propel you to the next level.
Exactly. If you always keep fearing failure, you're just never gonna grow. That's just never gonna happen.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Jeremy, again, I appreciate you coming on, brother. So it was awesome talking to you. So, thank you, man.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, dude. No problem. All right.